Welcome back to Omni Garage. So today I am working with a product that I have never tried before. This is something I've seen mentioned many times, and I've just never encountered the right situation to use it in. So the product I'm talking about is Solution Finish. So this is a black trim restorer. Solution Finish actually make this in a grey variant as well. So depending on what type of trim you have on your vehicle, you should be able to restore it with this. Now, I've seen some magical results on YouTube of people using this to restore really old and weathered trim. Now, the car behind me here has just undergone a paint correction, so probably spent, I don't know, somewhere in the vicinity of 40 to 50 hours working on the paint of the car. It's looking pretty good. Most of the trim as well, so for a 20-year-old vehicle, the WRX is looking really good. I started going on a little bit of a hunt and got pretty deep on it. And before I went any further, I thought, let me see if I can restore any of the trim to improve the look of it. So what I'm talking about here is around the car, you've got obviously trim under the, what is this? This is like the cover under the window wiper arms. You've got the wiper arms themselves. You've got things like around the mirrors. You've got some of the side skirt areas. And the rabbit hunt I went on was starting to buy some of these OEM parts. I'm amazed that you can still buy these 20 years later, OEM from Subaru. So these here are the little covers that would go down by the rear wheels. So I do have a bunch of new trim to put on the car. But before I started splashing any more money, buying any more unnecessary parts when the trim is already looking pretty reasonable, is I thought I'd try this product, Solution Finish, and see if we can restore the properties of the trim in the car. So I'll bring you over and show you the area we're going to work on today. Now, I got really close to ordering this piece here. It's like the cowl, which covers off that connection between the window or the windscreen and the engine bay. I have taken the window wiper blades off here, or the blades and the arms, just so we have some better access. But as you can see, the trim here, it isn't looking great. Like, it's not terrible. We've got some water spotting in there, but it's just a bit faded. And I mean, if you compare that to the trim around the mirror here, like that trim isn't brand new, but it looks pretty new. Like if someone had shown me that, I would probably think that that was trim that was 12 months old. That's original trim there. Original trim as well on this car is obviously this little piece down here, which we do have the replacement for. And the reason I'm replacing this is that there's just a little bit of scuffing out of the side, so thought we would freshen that up. The other piece of trim as well that I'd like to replace at some point are these guards here, or the trim that goes between your glass and then the upper door panels. Those are quite pricey though, and they are actually looking reasonable, but thought we'd try Solution Finish today and see if we can improve the look of this before I go out and purchase a new piece. So how exactly is Solution Finish working to restore the trim? Well, what it's doing is it's restoring that black plastic and vinyl by dissolving any oxidization that you have in the plastic pores. So this product here contains antioxidants and light stabilizers to prevent further UV damage. So first application, you should get between 6 to 8 months of richness out of the trim or the vinyl, and then subsequent applications, essentially you're just topping up what you've already got in the plastic pores there. So you should get about 12 months out of additional applications. So just like working on any area of your car when it comes to restoring or correcting, you do want to make sure you prep the surface adequately. So on the Solution Finish website, they say that probably it's best to use isopropyl alcohol to wipe down any area. I have had some mixed experience with isopropyl alcohol in the past. Sometimes it is really aggressive and can leave some spotting. So, I mean, if you have a product like this, CarPro Eraser, G-Technic panel wipe is probably on the higher end of that level as well. But Eraser will probably be my go-to for surface preparation. So all we're gonna do here is spray the trim down that we're going to work on. I don't mind spraying a razor directly on the panels or the trim. I would not be doing that with isopropyl alcohol. And essentially what this is doing, this is removing any of the oils from the polishing stage that we've gone through. If we have kind of thrown polish anywhere across the car, and just making sure that we've got a nice bare surface that's going to accept our solution finish. Now, one of the things that I did consider doing here as well, and I did some research on it, was whether I should ceramic coat before or ceramic coat after applying solution finish. And the answer I got, I actually found some really good resource on the Rag Company website, is not to do that. So essentially, what Anthony had said from the Rag Company in the videos that I watched is that if you were going to go and apply something like ceramic coating prior, what will happen then is it will reject the solution finish, so it's not going to be able to penetrate the surface. And then on the flip side, if you go and coat over this, solution finish isn't something that is going to last years and years. You know, you may get 6 to 12 months out of this before the, I guess the elements, the sun, start to tear away at the trim again. So by ceramic coating on top and putting, you know, like 4, 5, 6, 7 plus year coating on there, what you're doing is limiting the ability to go and add additional product further down the line. So I have not ceramic coated, and I do not plan on ceramic coating on top of this. So I've just used that eraser. So you can see we still got some of that water spotting mark in there. I don't want to use a water spot remover. I just want to see how this solution finish will darken this and add some richness, and see if we can cover that up. But the surface there is all prepped and ready to go. So you probably should be using gloves with this product. I've just gone and searched through all our cabinets and we don't have any in there, so I'm just going to be really careful around the way I use this to make sure I don't get any staining. But you do have to shake this vigorously. So it has a, I don't know, it has a ball or something in there, so it sounds like a spray can. Make sure you mix the solution really well. And I mean, this is a small bottle, so this is a 1 ounce bottle. You can get a slightly bigger one. What I'd heard is a little of this product goes a really long way, so really affordable as well. I think I paid something around 35 New Zealand dollars for this little bottle here, and I would imagine that this is something that's going to sit in the cabinet and last quite a wee while. Now, the applicator I'm using, this is just a like a G-Technic coating applicator. It's something that they throw in the ceramic coating boxes. We don't typically use this while we're doing the surface. We use this for things like trim. It contours a bit better, and I think for what we're going to apply on here, it should make this quite easy. So I think what we'll do, crack the lid here. Goodness, it just looks like, I'll show you the lid there, just looks like black paint. Now what this will do, obviously over time the trim on your vehicle will start to fade, and it's just UV damage. So sun hitting it over a period of time, obviously that trim there, 20 years, like it has seen a lot of sun. Now what this is going to do is it will essentially penetrate that trim and add the gloss or add that richness back into it. And solution finish say, hey look, you should get, you know, up to about a year out of this. Now the conditions that you keep your vehicle in obviously would dictate that length of time as well. This car behind me doesn't get driven an awful lot. It is garage, so I should see pretty good longevity out of this. But as always, like 12 months time, 18 months time, you'll probably see another video updating you guys on the performance of this product here. So if you're watching this well into the future, have a look at the channel and see if we've got an update video. But what we'll do, we'll bring you in nice and close, and we'll show you this going on the surface. Might actually add some tape on there too, and we'll do a 50-50, show you guys what it looks like before and after. So we'll throw a bit of tape on here. Let's go about here. And we'll apply a little bit of the product. The best way to do this, maybe we dab it. So 2. So we've only got a small amount of product on the applicator pad there. And we'll just gently massage this into the trim. And the whole idea of this is that you will go and remove the excess using a rag. We actually have a perfect product for the application there. We have the Ultra Rippin' Rags from Rag Company. Now I feel like that's spreading reasonably well. It's quite thick at this end actually. And you're gonna only have success with this product on porous surfaces. So if you have any really high gloss areas that really don't have pores in them, this is not going to be able to penetrate through. So trim like this where it is porous is the perfect test case. Now I don't actually know how long we're meant to leave that for, but I mean, look at what it's done to the pad there. So you definitely will want to use gloves if you do have them around. I'm gonna let that dry for a couple of minutes and then I will remove the excess with a rag. So we're still just drying on the surface there, but you can notice an immediate difference to the trim. Completely covered up all of those water spots on there. So we're about ready to remove that excess and see how it finishes down. So I've got my rag company Rip and Rag here, which will be destined for the bin after this. We'll just come along and just like a ceramic coating, kind of remove any excess there. It does feel quite tacky, so I'd say that it's still kind of drying and penetrating through the surface. As you can see, we have removed some onto the microfiber towel there, but I mean, pretty easy to go and apply that. I mean, that's just added huge richness into the surface there. And we'll peel away that tape. Yeah, night and day difference. So if we come along the top here, this is all the trim that we haven't touched. And then we approach that line. I mean, look at that. Huge difference. All of those water spots that were in there, they're all covered up now. I mean, that's done an awesome job there. So it's done a really good job penetrating into this being the porous plastic. Where it won't do a great job is any kind of areas like, I mean, that obviously really glossy. It's not going to do well on probably any of this trim along here. It would do well on something like this, again, because it is a porous plastic. But you're just going to want to probably do a test spot on some of those spots that you know aren't porous to see if you're going to get a decent result out of it. But I mean, that there, I'm pretty happy with. So I'll just continue, work my way across there. And then we might try the wiper arms, which aren't as porous, but we'll just kind of see what kind of result we get on there. I can always replace those. They're kind of on the shopping list. So finish this off and then show you those wiper arms. All right, so final bit of removal. I'm thoroughly impressed with how well the trims come up using solution finish. I mean, I thought for all money I was going to have to buy replacement trim here, and there's absolutely no need now. Like, longevity will probably be the key with this product. Like, how long is it going to look like this? But the beauty of solution finish is that it is very, very inexpensive. So if you need to come along and do this every 12 months, even every 6 months, it's not going to break the bank at all, and it doesn't take an awful lot of time. So finish leveling this off and we'll show you guys the end results. So I'll just show you here how this would work on something like a wiper arm. So as you can see, this here is it's pretty damaged, this trim. So not overly porous either. It's quite smooth, but let's can't make it any worse. So we'll apply the solution finish to it. We'll just do a section of it. So we'll do kind of this area. And we'll leave that for a couple of minutes, let that penetrate, and we'll see if that improved the finish of that at all. I think this is still going to look quite splotchy, but as I said, I don't think we could have made this any worse at all. I mean, you look at that versus some of that there. So let's leave that for a couple of minutes and that can be a finale, see how that looks. So about 2 minutes later, just kind of level off this trim here. Instant difference to it for sure. So I mean, I can definitely still see some of that splotchiness in it. Like, it doesn't look like a smooth finish, but in terms of the overall richness of that, like if you compare it further up the arm here, it's got rid of quite a bit of it. Like 70% of the way to new trim. You definitely probably still want to rebuy these if you were going for a really nice finish on the car, but I mean, that's made a pretty big difference to the arm. I'll compare it against the other one. So there you go, bit of a before and an after. It has made quite a significant difference on that trim. So there you have it, really quick look at solution finish and the difference that it can make on some of the porous trim on your car. I'm really, really impressed with what it did to the area under the wipers here, and even the wipers themselves. I think it's probably got them 60–70% of the way to looking like brand new. So as I said at the start of the video, probably should be wearing gloves when you're doing this, and you probably see on my hands here, I should have been wearing gloves because I don't think that's going to be particularly easy to remove. And I mean, as you can see, the bottle there as well, like we've made a bit of a mess of that, but it has left the trim looking really, really good. So as always on Omni Garage, we will bring you guys along the journey. So look out for an update in the future. It may be a dedicated video, it may be a mention in passing in one of our other detailing videos, but that is it from Omni Garage today. That's a look at solution finish. I highly recommend if you have porous plastic, you want to get it looking better, you pick this up. Probably some rip and rags from the rag company as well, and the surface prep is the only other thing you need. So a couple of rags, solution finish, and something like Car Pro Eraser. Feel free to drop a comment down below if you've got any tips and tricks for us, or if there are any other products that you want us to try out. But otherwise, we'll see you guys next week.